Welcome everybody to the Bridgeman show. Today we are taking a trip down memory lane a little bit to play a deck that gave me a lot of success last year. And I actually played this on a previous stream a little bit, like a modified version. That didn't go very well. It might be that the deck is not really working in the current meta, but I wanted to give it a more thorough try. So this stream will be dedicated to this deck. Over here I have what was my list for intercontinentals, and for the uninitiated, this is so obviously an OB deck, and it's trying to spam assets to create threats. You have economic warfare plus hard-hitting news to try to tag the runner if they go too low on credits. So they have to consider if it's really worth trashing your assets and going low on credits. So the main ideas is you can use this excavator to trash an installed card and then get another one from your deck. So essentially the excavator becomes a commercial bankers group, but it's 4 to trash, which is great. And then you can tutor out cards that you actually need. So you can play cards like Maryland Campaign, trash this card, and then get a 1-cost card and shuffle your Maryland Campaign back, not having lost any money, gaining 3 from the excavator. And basically, you can then get Launch Campaign, you can get Urban Renewal or Wall-to-Wall. So typically, if you don't have the Wall-to-Wall, you try to get Wall-to-Wall to get your draw rolling. The Launch Campaign is sort of like downgraded Maryland Campaign. You have 6 credits on it, but it's 2 to trash instead of 3. But that's fine. It's like you're downgrading the Maryland Campaign, but you're gaining 3 from the excavator, and you get to shuffle the Maryland back, so you can draw it again. Then, of course, your 1-costers can also be trashed to get your 0-cost cards, which are Excavator and Spin Doctor. Spin Doctor being able to not only draw you cards immediately, but also shuffle cards back. And then another really important one, of course, is Rashida. So this one, you can tutor this way as well, and sometimes you can put it behind ice to sort of guarantee that you will be able to fire it. And so there's a lot of little tricks here. Another thing to keep in mind is if you trash Rashida, you can actually trigger OB without getting anything, because you can't cost less than 0. But you can trigger OB just to shuffle your deck. So if your opponent has seen the top card, you may want to shuffle your deck. So you can do that as well. Now, you have, again, you have the Boom Economic Warfare Hard-Hitting News package to try to punish people trashing your assets. The Urban Renewals are there to sort of, they're pretty good value to get rid of Forerunner cards if they don't go and trash it. So it's something that the runner might have to go and trash. But there's a subtle threat here that if you pop the Urban Renewal and deal 4 meat damage, and you're able to score an Azif protocol, then you can kill them that way as well. So that's another way to kill your opponent, not only with Boom, but also with this little combo. Makes it feel like, for your opponent, it may make them feel like they need to go and trash the Urban Renewal. Keep in mind we're playing an Audacity, so we can even score the Azif from hand sometimes. So you're starting to see some of the threats. You have the threat of the HHN econ stuff. You have the threat of killing with Azif Protocol plus Urban Renewal. And the third threat you have is just scoring out on points, which is sometimes really hard to do in asset decks, because in order to kind of get enough assets on the board, you sometimes feel like you have to play a lot of assets. And then the more agendas you put in your deck, the harder it is to have enough assets to win the game that way. But in this deck, we are trying, well, at least we have the threat of scoring out. And we're playing Global Food Initiative so that all the Agenda Steal Runner steals are 2-pointers, so they will need to steal 4 in order to win unless they have Mad Dash or something. And then the Agenda Suite was basically trying to make it as hard as possible for Endurance to get through ice. So Envelopment requires 4 boat counters to get through, and when it was just Rest. And of course, nowadays boat is not a thing anymore, so that's something you have to take into consideration if playing a list like this. But yeah, the ice suite is kind of nice because Envelopment could get Border Control or Mausolus and Veritas when it destroys itself. And Border Control is just a face check ice, but also you can trash it to get Sandstone or Afshar. So this was the deck. You could threaten to score out. So like if you get to 5 points, then any naked card could be the winning 2-pointer, and so there's even more pressure on your opponent to check your cards. And also you can finish the game off with Audacity. So we're playing 3 Global Food Initiative to be able to get to 5 points. We score a Global Food, then we score another 2-pointer, and at that point we are putting a lot of pressure on our opponent. So this was the deck. It did really well. It definitely has weaknesses, and I don't think it's one of the top decks right now. But let's look at like what can we do with this kind of thing in the current meta. Like, can we try to make it better? So I have 2 lists, and I think one of them is probably better than the other, and I'll try to talk about why. So this is like the 2.0 list. This one is trying to be a lot like the old list. Now, Preemptive Action is banned, so you can't use this card anymore, and that's kind of a big hit for this kind of deck, because you end up searching out a lot of cards out of your deck, you end up drawing a lot of cards, and you slowly run out of the cards that you want to be installing and playing, and the agenda density gets higher. Preemptive Action helps get important tools back and lower your agenda density, so that was quite a good card to have in the deck, but now we only have Spin Doctor to shuffle stuff back. So that was a loss. That is something you need to replace. But another thing, so this deck is almost the same, but the Preemptive Action was replaced with a CSR campaign to just give us some extra draw, and of course this can be trashed to the Excavator if we don't need it. But yeah, just some extra draw is actually quite decent, because that helps us be able to just spam cards on the board and draw into our punishment cards like Econ Warfare. We usually want a wall-to-wall on the board as early as possible to start drawing extra cards. Now, CSR campaign means that we can do this even more consistently. So it's a decent replacement, even if it doesn't do the same thing that the Preemptive was doing. And for the ice, we have... actually, in this version, I'm trying to cut the envelopments, and just because the boat is not around anymore, so I think the how hard it is to get through the envelopment it's not as important anymore. Because we're not really considering the boat anymore. We mainly just consider how hard it is for breakers to get through our ice. And so here I'm trying to favor the tutoring from Border Control. So we're playing 3 Border Controls and an extra Sandstone. And this means that we can more often pull off the combo where we pop the Border Control and we get a 3-cost ice that is then kind of hard to get through. So this is something that hopefully makes it easier for us to score out agendas behind. And the rest of the shell I didn't really change. Now, you may think that, which I wanted to try on a previous stream, to put a card like Gaslight in the decks, where you can search out operations. The tutor ability of operations is quite nice when you can search from all of these pretty relevant cards, like getting the boom if you need it. If you need to tag them, you can get the hard-hitting news. If you already have the hard-hitting news, you can get the Econ Warfare just to make the hard-hitting news better. So it seems like a really good card, but we have the problem that it's not easy to cut cards from this deck. You really want the 3 GFI because you really want to score one of them at some point if you're ever going to score out. So having 3 is great, and you don't want to put another 3-pointer in because then you're kind of ruining your agenda suite. So you're sort of locked there. The Maryland campaigns are just too good to cut. You always want to have 3 of them. The 3 spin doctors is the same. It's just the instant draw, the ability to shuffle cards back. It's incredible. You would never want to cut this. You may be able to cut a hard-hitting news, maybe, but that is debatable. Because the gaslights can still be trashed from the board, and so it's not really clear if you can do many changes. But so I've basically changed 3 slots in the deck. Now I have another deck that is trying to put gaslight in. And I won't be playing this one today, but I'm presenting it as a concept. So the idea here is that you try to use less slots for agendas, and you can cut the GFIs and you play real 3-pointers to give you room for gaslight. This means you can play a lot more agendas. You can even make room for a punitive counter-strike in case they steal your CityWorks project. But I think this kind of agenda suite is very clunky. It makes it basically impossible to score out or very hard to score out. And that you can't discount how important the threat of scoring out is for the deck. Having 3, and also with this way of doing it, your urban renewals are no longer ever threatening a kill because you don't have a Eve protocol. So you really, you kind of losing 2 of your win conditions, and you only have like the threat of econ warfare, and your way of scoring out is like incredibly hard to pull off. So I think this way of building the deck doesn't really work, even though you would like to somehow make it more compact. I don't think it works, at least doing it this way. So the list we will be playing today is this one, the Dreamboat 2.0, because it retains all of these threats. And I would say if it doesn't work this way, then probably the deck idea does not work at all. Of course, you could try building it in different ways, but that's my theory. Now, some people might also ask, like, can't you play hostile architecture in this kind of deck to try to protect your cards? And I'm just going to say that I think this card is just too expensive to use. It's too easy to trash, and the fact that it's unique means that you can't ever build it's hard to build a board where it's threatening enough to really be worth it. So I think, especially because the problem with this deck is really getting your momentum going. If you already have your momentum, you don't really need the extra meat damage. So you just, at that point, you just want to play into one of your plans, trying to score out. If they try to stop you from scoring out, then you can go into your tagging plan and so on. So so I think this is the way to do it. Let's jump into some games. Yeah, to Axu in the chat, yes, if people don't know like what you're on, maybe we can allow spectators, yeah. If people don't know that you are on this kind of deck and they think you have all of the threats, then the second version will probably be better because they will feel more pressured to run than they actually are. But yeah, if especially if you're expecting to get high in tournaments, you can't lean on things like that. You need to make it so that even with open deck lists, what you're playing works. So having real threats and multiple threats in this kind of deck is a must, I think, because none of the threats are strong enough on their own. So you need to sort of combine them. All right, so we got an opponent, and we're up against Saya. And typically, Saya is a tag me deck, so this could be really interesting. If they get Obelisk on the board, then that means it's going to be hard to kill them. Let me see here. So, yeah, Saya can actually be really hard to play against because she, it's hard to stop her from getting value. We don't play that much ice, but yeah, if we get a border control on HQ and an ice on R&D, is nice. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of starting hands there. So probably protecting HQ is necessary here. And then I'm just gonna put the, yeah, I think I'm just gonna put the Rashida and the Spin Doctor naked to prepare for next turn. So sometimes they don't check this stuff. Bravado here means we can make them lose 2 credits to Afshar. Running the Spin Doctor, so we just res, and if they trash it, it's fine. Okay. Yeah, so we do lose the Rashida, but it's okay. And it is a tag me Zaya. So that's some important information. We do have wall-to-wall. So we could draw here and then install these. But I think maybe just clicking for credit is fine. Like install, click for credit, and pass. Because the wall-to-wall, yeah, we won't, here's the thing, like, you usually don't rest the urban renewals right away here. You wait, because the wall-to-wall gives you more value every turn if it gets to be on its own. And right now, there's not enough assets that we really want to be resing to get rid of the value that wall-to-wall provides us. So we'll just let it tick. So urban renewal is ran. Sometimes they trash this, but they should not. Okay, good. Not trashing. Wall-to-wall should maybe be trashed, and it is. This is still kind of risky play. Yes, okay. So the excavator is nice. We can draw. Ooh, Drudge Work is really nice too. But I want to start using the excavator, so I can rest the urban and trash it. And then we can maybe use the Drudge Work on the next turn, so we pre-install it. We could then click it twice and get rid of our agendas. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, we lost an agenda. We know that there's probably no Mad Dash in Zaya, so that's nice. Running the Drudge Work. Yeah, it's not a catastrophe if this is trashed. But it isn't. Okay, I'm running the excavator. So he's using up a lot of his clicks. And essentially he's saying, like, if you HHN me, I don't care because I'm a tag me deck. But I don't think I'm gonna play into that and just tag him. I'm gonna try to let him tag himself, because if he doesn't tag himself, then his deck doesn't really work. So we can trash this, and we can get a Spin Doctor, I think, to get some cards, or an excavator to make sure that this play works. That seems pretty decent. Yeah, we don't necessarily need a Spin Doctor, and excavator is quite important. So we got the excavator now. And now, yeah, we can, this is perfect, because we can double click the Drudge Work, get rid of our agendas, and ice R&D to stop Zaya value. So we shuffle this, we shuffle the Atlas back, and get the Veritas on R&D. So, yeah, he's wasting a lot of time not developing board state. And again, we're not going to be the ones tagging, probably. And now we're threatening here to just trash the Drudge Work and get a lot of value. So we're doing good. We might want to get, if we get a border control, we might want to get it on HQ at some point to stop doof value. Okay, now the tags are coming. And he plays the class act on the same turn, which is nice because this means we can't just boom him and win. So we excavate this one. And we get a wall-to-wall because we want the draw. And we don't use the other excavator. Okay, nice. So now we kind of have what we need. I think we trash the rogue trading to stop further value. 1 click can be installing the urban. I think 1 click should be draw. Draw. Possibly installing the spin doctor instead of installing the urban. Seems fine. We're not in a rush to get the urban on the board yet. So we can trash this rogue trading. Yeah, and now he's gonna have to get Obelisk on the board or risk dying to boom. Hello, guys. And hello, James. Good to have you here. Okay, so boomerang, jailbreak. Yes, okay. So because we have GFI, I think we rest the spin doctor to lower the chance of this being stolen. Launch campaign. Okay, so he misses the GFI, which is nice. And if there's no Obelisk now, there's a threat of just dying to boom. So yeah, the Tagami decks, they need to be really careful here. If he doesn't have Obelisk, he might even clear a tag just to stay safe, but that's really not what you want to be doing. So he might just risk it. Because it just sets you back a lot. He does actually clear it too, yeah. So that is very good news. And now there's a decision to be made if we shuffle stuff back before we draw. Or I just trash one of the... I could trash one of the excavators and leave the other stuff. That is probably fine. Yeah, I think that's good. So we draw with wall-to-wall. And an excavator trashes this other excavator. We get a border control. Yeah, so we want to not get doofed. But we also want to start scoring out at some point. So this is a little tricky. But I think, yeah, I think this turn is just Urban Launch Campaign and maybe Ice HQ. So doof is always him losing, what is it, 3 credits and a click to Afshar plus... Yeah, maybe it's actually not worth protecting HQ. Because he has to like boomerang it as well. And I don't mind losing the credits that much. So I'll try to build a remote to protect this launch campaign. Actually, yeah, maybe I should ice there to protect against hot pursuit and stuff like that. There is Obelisk. Okay. So it's kind of on now. I think I should, yeah, I should have created another remote for this. Let me think. Or I just shuffle back Spin Doctor and the Drudge work, and then I can do it this way. So I get the launch campaign money, tick down the urban, then we trash this launch campaign to get a Spin Doctor in a new remote, and then we draw a card from the wall to wall. Yeah, something like this. And yeah, do we, yeah, there's still a question if we should protect HQ more or not. We really want to score these GFIs. Honestly, yeah, it's a bit scary though that we have a lot of agendas in HQ. We can overdraw and pitch some of them. Oh, he's conceding. All right, I was thinking too much for his taste. All right. So I'll create a new one then. But I think we were doing fine in that game. Yeah, sometimes when streaming I do play slowly sometimes, so I get it. But I mean, the lines in OB can also be complicated. You don't want to just impulsively throw things down. You gotta think about it. Yeah, this is the deck right now. Although, yeah, I have this bug right now where yeah. Yeah, it was the kind of, yeah. Some people, they just want to slam the cards down. I don't really work like that. I mean, if I know what to do, then it's one thing. But like, yeah, especially with OB, like you can have a lot of decisions. But yeah, I have this bug right now where I can't hear any of the Jinteki sounds except when I join someone else's lobby, or start spectating someone else's game. Like, have any of you guys run into this? It's quite annoying because, especially when streaming, because like sometimes I'm looking at the chat or whatever, and then the sounds are my cue to start focusing on the game again because things are happening. But yeah, I can't do it. You know, if now the way it works right now, where I can't hear anything, I just have to keep checking this tab. Yeah, okay, so it's not not only me having the muted Jinteki. I'm gonna get water. My throat is fucked. That's such a strange bug. Like, I wonder what's up with that. So hopefully our next opponents will be more patient with me. But yeah, that little there's when Ob is up against Sire or whatever, there's this little dance that happens, especially early on in the game, where it's like, do they really want to go full tag me already, or do you want to wait a little bit? And they kind of want you to be the ones tagging them, but yeah, if you usually it's better to just let them we're playing against Freedom Kamala. This is like this ID basically slaughters this deck most of the time. It is possible to win, but it is not fun and it's not easy at all. Oftentimes they will start trashing your stuff right away. So if you can immediately get them tagged while staying up on enough money to punish them with boom, then it's possible to win the game, and you need ice to protect your money assets. So I think this hand will be a mulligan for that reason, because I feel like I need a piece of ice to put my stuff behind. And he trashes the excavator for free, so it's sort of like a silly matchup. And one of the reasons why it sometimes feels really bad to play this kind of deck. So yeah, I feel like maybe that hand we had before was even better. We have the econ, but we don't have HHN to punish. All right, so we start. We have to draw because we want something to actually use the excavator on. Wall-to-wall is nice. And then we can install the excavator as well. So we're not protecting it, but the wall-to-wall can't be trashed with Freedom's ability. The excavator can. And also, yeah. Oh, yeah, so he's running the excavator. We can't do anything about it. He's trashing that. Might check this too. Yeah, but if he trashes this, he might go really low on money, so he declines. Oh, and there's SMC. It might be one of those old, like, Padlock Freedom style decks. So we start the turn. We get a card and a credit. So wall-to-wall is so good when it's on its own. It's crazy. Okay, so here... yeah, there's 3 HHN and 2 Boom and 3 Econ Warfare. So Spin Doctor would overdraw. We want an Econ. Yeah, let's Econ. And maybe install 2 excavators. Kind of guarantees a trigger on the wall-to-wall. That seems nice. And he's very much not safe from hard-hitting news then. He's still running. He seems completely unafraid of Boom. But fortunately, we did get very lucky in the sense that we got 3 excavators. So now we can wall-to-wall for a card. Trash the wall-to-wall, get the 3, and also get a Spin Doctor, which will give us 2 cards. And we have HHN now as well. How do we do this? Kind of want to protect HQ. We want to HHN. And we can do something else too. Probably install the Spin Doctor. Yeah, I think so. So Veritas to protect HQ. Spin Doctor can help us draw into Boom. And we HHN for tags. Oh, he just concedes. I feel like people are salting out today. Like, that's way too early to concede if you're Freedom up against this deck, because they might not even have the Boom. You trash everything cheaply, and if you ever find the Boom, then you can trash it. And you can also trash their econ engine. So preemptive, I would say. But let's go again then. So far so good with this Dreamboat deck, but just because our opponents keep conceding. To be fair, I think we were in good positions, or decent positions, in both of those games. Actually, I will take a very short break and I'll be right back. And we are back with more Dreamboat games. Yeah, he was playing into HHN super hard, but yeah, if we see SMC, we know it's not tag me freedom, so we know that if we draw boom and they are tagged, they don't have a way to escape the kill, probably. They need to trash the boom, or they need to just shake the tags. If you're up against tag me freedom, that's probably a really, really bad matchup, because not only do they not care about your tags as soon as they have Obelisk out and can get to 7 cards, they can also trash your entire board basically free. So that matchup is horrendous and not something we want to see at all. We got an opponent, and it's Steve. Okay. And wall-to-wall is good. I might keep this just because we have wall-to-wall. Kind of nice. We don't really want the agendas, but we do have border control as well for Doof, which I like. So this is probably keepable. I'm going to go for it. And I'll get some more water. All right. Hey, Harald. Hey, Miroslav, what's up? Yeah, so about the deck still being strong and valid, I'm not sure about that at all, but like, at least so far today, it's been doing okay. I think it really punishes people playing recklessly. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's 2 wins today. I feel like our opponents, they just threw in the towel too early. So he exposes the wall-to-wall with falsified. It's very nice. He can go in and trash it, which he does. As long as there's no missed bones, that's still a decent exchange for us. So we can rest the spin. We don't care if this is trashed. We would probably be happy with it. Don't trash the spin in that case, kids, is what I would say. You really... I mean, maybe in this case it's okay. Because if I have Econ and then HHN, I go down to 2 credits. No, but I can click for a credit, and then you're sort of, I don't know. Maybe you can doof to stop the boom from happening on the next turn, but still, it's a bit risky. So here we can drudge work the agendas. Or we can install the spin, see what we get, and then drudge work like one of the agendas. Yeah, let's... so, spin res, you go to 7. Seven cards, we can install the drudge work. Worst case, get rid of a GFI and leave it on the board. It's not terrible. Ooh, wall-to-wall is also nice. Wall-to-wall and drudge work. So we can drudge work next turn instead, and now we have the wall-to-wall. So to Axo in the chat, like, it's true that you like running unnecessarily is probably not something you want to do, but there are a lot of cases against this deck where if you can get away with running, you actually want to do it because you stop the deck from snowballing. But you got to make sure that you know what you're doing if you're, yeah, because this kind of play, we're just like, this seems like he just has no regard for the threats, because going down to 2 credits, you know that you're about to get HHN'd, you don't have enough money to clear the tags, and you're just going to lose if they have HHN and boom. And even if they don't have boom yet, you don't want to allow them to tag you in such a cheap manner. So yeah, so here we can just res this drudge work, get rid of 2 GFI to get back up on money, and then just HHN. And we already have the border control to protect HQ. So I think this is just going to be game over. Of course, there are ways where maybe if... yeah, he has already played a Deuces Wild. So if he has... well, there are ways you can get out of this. Yeah, a Deuces Wild would work. But he's drawing first click, so it's not looking too bright. And Doof is not possible because of border control. Networking is also a nice tech card against HHN in Criminal, actually. Okay, so now we just boom. GG. All right, we got like a full game. GG, but yeah, don't. So it looks like kind of a Citadel, Steve. This is typically out of a 419 because you have the link to support it. But I guess with Nexus, I guess you get a link. So that's interesting. But yeah, looks like it relies really heavily on hitting HQ, and we just have border control to stop that. So never really got off the ground. But yeah, especially with this kind of rig, you can probably leave a lot of the assets alone, because if you get your Citadel and your other stuff rolling, then you should be in pretty good shape. But yeah, definitely don't go this low when the assets deck is able to HHN you and still have enough money for boom, especially if they still have the money to protect HQ, because then you can't even go and trash the boom. All right, let's do another game. We're just jamming this today. If we think of any improvements, we can of course change the deck, but I think it's pretty solid right now. Eza, okay, I've run into Eza as with this deck, and it's yeah, you need to make sure that you're applying threats early enough, because she can just mill you out, and it can be a problem. Drudge work is also nice to get agendas back that are milled with Eza, and we have Spin Doctor as well. So now we have a really good start where we just play Marilyn, Rashida, Excavator, because I think the line for Eza is not to just run like every single asset. So probably this Rashida is pretty safe. And we have Marilyn plus Excavator combo too. So this is a really good start, probably. Nope. He just goes for it right away. Yeah, people are not respecting the threats here. So getting the Excavator. Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, people are like really, really aggressive. And I don't know why. Like, why would you run and then go down to 4? You just risk losing immediately. So now, yeah, we can pop the Marilyn with the Excavator, and we can get a wall-to-wall to get the draw going. And also, if we draw into HHN now, then we're doing really well. So Marilyn, trash the Marilyn, trigger OB, wall-to-wall. Yep. Shuffle Marilyn back. GFI. Yeah, so we can, I mean, we can play the Drudge work and get rid of the GFI. That's 2 clicks. So we can start with the Spin Doctor in case we draw something nicer. Boom, and yeah. So now I kind of want to put the Drudge work on the board because then the Excavator can trash it and fetch us something else. So let's do that. And if he tries to contest anything here, he's going to be really, really low on money. Ooh, Fenris for Steve. Going even lower on money. This does seem like a mistake. But I don't think he's going to run this turn, though. So he's not risking HHN. Just playing cards to mill us. Let's see what he milled. No agendas. So yeah, I think maybe I'll pop the Drudge work for a launch campaign, urban renewal. No, probably a launch campaign is better actually. Yeah, let's see. So because I don't think he wants to be running now, so wall-to-wall gets us a card, and Excavator gets us launch campaign, and yeah, now we can just Ice HQ. Ice R&D and put a wall-to-wall on the board, I think. Maybe I should have protected the launch campaign, but running here is so risky that I don't think you really want to do it. No, I don't think you ever do that. Because I've definitely have enough credits to HHN. Yeah. So I can trash the wall-to-wall, or just trash the launch campaign. So the launch campaign gets us money. The question is if we want to draw before fetching something. No, I don't think so. I think we trash the campaign and get Rashida. In a new remote. And we get a card. And then now we want to protect the Rashida. So just put some ice in front, probably. I don't think we want to waste 3 clicks purging this. Get the urban renewal out. This seems nice. Miroslav asks, what are the worst matchups against it? Shaper with misdirection is non-existent. Kumala is not much played either. No solid runner drip economy to control this deck. I honestly don't know because my experience with it is so limited. I think Tag Me Freedom is I would say probably the worst matchup because with Obelisk out, he doesn't care about the tags. And also he can trash like a lot of your assets for cheap or free. Even early on, being able to trash Excavator for nothing. So there's, yeah, that may be just the worst matchup. I think also Tag Me Saya might be really bad if she's just able to get Obelisk out. I guess that applies to Tag Me Freedom too, but that is probably easier for him because you can play 3 copies. Okay, so continues here, but we could just pop this border control to find... No, actually I can't pop it to find an ice. Ooh, that's annoying. Because I drew... Oh no, wait, I can. I can shuffle the sandstone back in. So let's do it that way. And then I'll shuffle the sandstone back before popping this. And we get a sandstone on HQ. That works. So APOC Hoshiko, I think, has always been is not like that like an auto win for either side. I think it's just there's play on both sides, and I think this deck just tries to exploit that Hoshiko. Like, you can go for an APOC, but you risk getting tagged. So you just try to play fast, you threaten them with Urbans to try to snipe their APOCs out of hand. You have border control to make it hard for them to get enough clicks to pull the APOC off. So I don't think that's a bad matchup. I think it's just sort of even. Okay, so we pop the... what do we pop first? So we can pop the Rashida and get a lot of draw. Yeah, and we don't use the ID. So we see some cards. We know that we can HHN now. And we would like to use the wall-to-wall. So Urban Renewal can tick down. We use the wall-to-wall to get another card. And now do we... I guess we can trash this wall-to-wall because we have another one. And we can get something. That could be a Spin Doctor. Yeah, that seems good. And we draw for the turn. Okay, so now we can... Probably we just want to make it harder to hit HQ and play the hard-hitting news and Marilyn. So Marilyn we can play here. And we don't want the Rashida right now because we'll just overdraw. And we can, yeah. So we Mausolus on HQ and hard-hitting news. Now he has to clear or die to boom. Yeah, this S, I think, is like not really prepared to deal with decks that interact in this way. Seems like it's probably good against slow decks, where you can sort of grind down their cards over time. Okay, so now... Oh, wait. We're supposed to do this too. So we have a bunch of triggers here. We might be at the point where the wall-to-wall trigger is best spent on putting counters on the Mausolus. because we have enough money and probably have enough cards. So let's do that. Maryland first. Urban ticks down. We can excavate on the Maryland. Shuffle it back. And we get... is it time for an urban renewal now? Maybe. Are we low on money and want to get the launch campaign? We're not totally loaded on money. The urban seems fine. I think we have enough money. Yeah, we had not received the money yet, apparently, from... So we place the advancement. Oh, we get above the law. That's a good card. So we can trash the Fenris now. I don't know that we need to, because it's hard for him to get into HQ. But not a bad idea either, I suppose. Yeah, we can trash this. Yeah, I think just start scoring agendas before we run out of cards in our deck. This urban is about to pop as well. Now, if we had end of the line in the deck, urban pop would mean that he has to clear this tag to not die to that, but I've just found that it's very rare that you actually get to make use of that. Okay, so this urban pops. Yeah, and I think we just excavate the Spin Doctor. No. Yes, okay, yeah. And then we can... Yeah, we can get a Spin Doctor here, or a Rashida. No, not Rashida, we are out of Rashidas. Yeah, so just Spin Doctor, I guess. Oh yeah, we actually get the kill now. We drew into the Azif, so we can Audacity score this for game. That's pretty funny. So you guys get to see that combo too. Nice. Okay, good game. So looks like ASA matchup is fine. Let's keep going. Corp. Yeah, it's kind of rare to be able to pull off the urban kill because, well, actually, I guess it would be easier nowadays. So when I used to play this deck, you were up against Anarchs that had Steel Skin, which made it hard to do. And also, of course, the fact that they can trash it. But if they had Steel Skin, they didn't have to be afraid of this. And for Shapers, they often had a Stone Ship Chart Room or Clot. So they could either stop the score or they could make sure that they have 2 cards in hand so they don't die to the Asif score. But nowadays, maybe there's not as much Shaper, or at least there's not as much Chart Room. And also, yeah, I don't know. Anarchs still, you have to think about the fact that they have Steelskin Scarring. Okay, we're up against Kit. which should be fine. This looks keepable. Multiple excavator. That's some tempo. Question is here. Yeah, I've seen some kit lists, and some of them run like Maker's Eye, legwork. So you might want to have border control on R&D. So here. Yeah, so about Reaper function, like I think it's, I don't remember how much influence is. I think it's 3. I can look it up. I'm just gonna install my ice. But let's look at Reaper function. But the thing is, like, first of all, it's pretty expensive to use. Okay, it's 2 influence. Yeah, the influence is really tight, first of all. And second of all, the urban kill plan is more of like a side thing. You don't want to dedicate like all of your deck slots to trying to pull that off, because it's sort of like a niche way to kill them. So wall to wall will get us a card. We can trash the wall to wall, and I think maybe get a Rashida here, because we can protect it with the Afshar. Is that a bad idea? Because the Afshar is better on HQ. So maybe the Spin Doctor instead. Okay, nice. So now we can go Marilyn, CSR for a lot of momentum. Seems pretty good. And we pass. Yeah, to Miroslav, like, it seems pretty decent, but it's just that I think on JNet people are, a lot of them are impatient, or they're not playing the best things, so you always gotta keep that in mind, that even if you're doing well on JNet, doesn't mean that the deck is actually good. So yeah, let's just res everything. So Marilyn, and we want to shuffle Marilyn back before drawing with CSR, because we want to be drawing Marilyns right now. Yes, so install. What do we want? Do we have enough cash? We're gonna get 3. Yeah, maybe launch campaign is still valid here. And we shuffle back Marilyn. We draw a card with CSR. Ooh, this is nice. Okay, so we can install ice on HQ, put 2 urbans, and start ticking those down. If you rest the urbans at the same time, you basically guarantee that they have to run at least one of the urbans. Okay, running here. With a Kyoban. But I can pop the border control before the pass happens. So I will do that. And get a sandstone. We already have the Afshar. Well, PE to James in the chat is not only popular. On JNet, it's actually popular in tournaments. Looking at the 2 last accelerated meta tests, PE has done very well, like winning the last one and getting top 4 in the in the other one. I think there's a rules misunderstanding here. But I can pop the urban before he passes. All right, so I can rest these. Get the mandatory draw. So we have a lot of triggers. We do Maryland, launch campaign. We're going to trash the Maryland. These are going to tick down no matter what, and we can trash the Maryland. We get the trigger, and probably urban renewal at this point. Yeah, we shuffle the Maryland back. We draw a card with CSR. Okay, nice. What do we do now? We have GFI. We have no eyes to protect agendas, though. We could just put them naked on the board. But I guess for now we want to draw. So we draw. There's an ice. So we could install Atlas and put the Veritas in front. Another way is to just protect the launch with this. But that makes this turn a little bit awkward. I think I'll just do it this way. So he could trash the excavator and the launch, and we would be low on money, so that could be a problem. Like, if you can break the economic backbone of this deck, then that's really nice. So yeah, maybe not protecting the launch is a mistake. But he's prioritizing the urbans instead. So getting rid of this one. And we should be happy with this. No need really to start trashing the urbans now. So the ordering is a little strange. Okay, so he's using the Jazvi to start the hyperbaric, to charge the hyperbaric. And we get to fire it. Okay. Yes, so here we can do a lot of different things actually. We could trash the sandstone to get a Maryland, for example. That's not that bad. That would be interesting. Because we want money. Although having the ice there is kind of nice. No, but a Maryland would be nice, I think. And we can shuffle back the ice. Let's do it that way. Trash this. Can even get the drudge work. But Maryland is good. We can shuffle these back. Get our triggers. Launch, urban. Oh, the Maryland shouldn't tick down. There we go. Hey there, Pouch Surfer. Welcome to the stream. So let's see. Do we have... Yeah, what to do here? So I think we want to advance this. Threaten the score. Let's do 1, 2, and no, probably probably ignore this one. Maybe rest the Spin Doctor first. See if we get ice. No, that's fine. We just do it this way. We don't want to overdraw. So he can go get this, but yeah, the Urban is about to pop, and also there's a threat of hard-hitting news. Okay, so trashing the Urban, drawing a card. To Kaggleskap, I mean, I think people tilt against these kind of decks. It's true. Like, but honestly, with careful play, it shouldn't be like a huge issue to play against this kind of deck. You really just need to be patient, and it becomes a pretty interesting game, in my opinion. Of course, like, people have different opinions, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. So running and charging the Hyperbaric. So we want to be triggering. Yeah, we want to tag him now. We want to punish this. So we're gonna draw with Caesar before popping the Marilyn, I think, because we want to shuffle the Marilyn back. Pop the launch campaign, but I think what we want to get is a wall-to-wall. So we don't use the ID. So we say no, we trash the Marilyn wall-to-wall instead. And shuffle the Marilyn back. Okay, so we could just score the Atlas. That's not too bad, because that guarantees us the abilities to search out HHN. So I think that's just a good line. I'm going to go for it. Like, there's a temptation here to keep installing things, but at some point you have enough cards and money, and all you want is scoring points and delivering on tag threats. So we pitch the wall-to-wall because we already have one. And we can keep the Spin Doctor for a time where we need the cards more. Yeah, so to Pouch Surfer, yeah, my experience from playing this list, like recently, preparing both recently and when preparing for Worlds last year, was that yes, I found it quite brittle, but it also depends on what the decks are in the meta. Like, against what I've been playing against today, I'm not sure these are like the best decks in the meta, so then it feels great. But I think probably against the best decks, you would have more trouble. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem terrible. But it has a few matchups where you would be really scared, like facing Freedom, maybe facing an Anarch that has a bunch of Aeneas informants. Okay, so here. Now he did not run. Probably scared of hard-hitting news. Yes. So Pop the urban. And I think use the ID. So we can find a Rashida. CSR gives us a card because we kind of want ice to score this GFI safely. Or do we? Do we even? The question is if he would even dare to run if I just install double advance this GFI. Oh, actually, there's a consideration here that if we draw a Zeef, it's actually game as well, unless there's Clot. Oh, actually, we don't need to draw a Zeef. Yeah, so we could just see if he has Clot. And he spends a lot of influence on Nobkir and Jazvi, that's 6 already. So maybe not. Yeah. And even if we don't get to score the Azif, that's probably fine. Okay, so let's draw. Start with wall to wall. The excavator can chill, I guess. So we see if there's Clot. Zeef. Install. See if there's action. Then we win. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, looking at the influence, that was probably not Clot, but you never know. Like, you don't have to go for that line. It's kind of risky, but yeah, too tempting to to try to kill right away. So let's just keep going. Let's get some more water. Oh yeah, so to actually in the chat, you can pop the border control before they pass because it's just a paid ability window. Like when you use breakers, that's a paid ability window, and a paid ability window is not over until till both players have like passed priority. So it should start with the turn player. Turn player breaks all the subroutines, then the corp may also use paid abilities. And trashing your border control is a paid ability. So unless I'm missing something, yes, you can pop it before they pass. Okay. Another Steve. This hand has too many agendas, so we'll just mulligan this. And we draw into a hand with 2 agendas instead. Not quite as bad. Still bad, but we do have Spin Doctor to maybe mitigate it. So we draw for the turn. Okay. Yeah, so we kind of want to protect HQ against Steve. We have Mausolus for that. Launch Campaign is good, and Spin Doctor is good. Sometimes you just install above the law naked because they might not check. Also, Spin Doctor naked is kind of nice because sometimes they do check and then you just res it and they sort of wasted a click. So yeah, I think for this turn I'm happy to just do this and then wait. So laundry, R&D, that's fine. So in cases like this where you don't get excavator, running and trashing the cards is actually really good for them. Yeah, if they have a lot of burst econ like this, then trashing this stuff can be really good. So we rest this. And now I guess we rest the Spin Doctor to see if we get something nice. That is quite nice. Yes, we can protect the launch campaign with border control and install the other two things. Yeah, and use dredge work on the next turn. Yeah, to pouch surfer, so I mentioned hostile architecture earlier on in the stream, and essentially I just think it doesn't do enough for its cost. It's just too expensive to res, and the impact of the effect is not great. And if it's really a problem, our opponent can always just trash the hostile architecture, and hostile architecture doesn't really help us get off the ground early. It's like a card that you would use later on. So no, I don't think it's a good include. I did consider it, but I don't think it's good. Yeah, Miss Bones is a problem. We don't if we could score this above the law, we could get rid of the Miss Bones. But now he's already gotten 6 credits for free. The upside though is we didn't have to really pay to put these assets on the board. And our launch campaign is safe behind the border control for now. So let's draw. We can econ again. And maybe we want to... Yeah, the question is, what do we ice here with border control? You can border control on HQ just to stop doofs. And potential, I don't know, stealing of the agendas. I think that's fine. Running the Spin Doctor, I think we just let him use the Miss Bones money on it if he wants to. We want him to run out of money eventually anyway, and these cards aren't that important, so it's fine. Running R&D. Oh, I even missed this. Yeah, he stole an Azif apparently off the top of the deck. So now he's at 4. So that's a problem. So the launch is popped. And I think we just get a Rashida here. We do need it. And we draw. Yes, we can install these two. And if he runs now with the Rashida on the board, it starts getting a bit risky for him, actually. But he has no fear. Let's just go. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, if you're at 4 points, the OB is not really rolling. Why are you risking death? There's no reason to. Yeah, just unnecessary. So mandatory. Get the draw from Rashida. We don't... Do we shuffle? Maybe. He saw the top card, so maybe we shuffle just for the hell of it. Ooh, this is quite nice. So we have hard-hitting news for the punish. And we do have Maryland campaign and excavator. Yes, this seems really nice. Yeah, now he has to clear because we do have boom. But he, I guess he can still clear after this. So I'm trying to think if it's smart to let him pass to rest the Mausolus, because then he's at 5 tags and cannot clear all of them. But then he could also trash the boom, potentially, so probably just rest the border control here. Okay, yeah. I don't understand this. People on JNet are way too aggressive. There's no... yeah. Like, being at 4 points... like, the position is starting to get worse for him, but being at 4 points... like, I still have such a long way to go to score out to 7. So, sort of... giving up now and treating this as the last turn is just not the way to go. Yeah, and I can just pop this. HQ. And this is game. Okay, good game. Yeah, let's go for another one. So we are on a roll today. But like, if you play carefully as runner, you have the right cards in your deck. I think this deck can still be decent against a lot of runners, but yeah. But you have good game as the runner. You know, 419 has the link. You have Miss Bones. You have Burst Economy. You might even have Citadel to clear tags. Yeah, they could be inexperienced, but that's true, of course. But I think people know about Boom generally. Like Econ Warfare HHN is such a like universal thing. Okay, Sable. Yeah, if this was against I have to think here. Yeah, so we kind of want ice. Doof is really bad. We can always rest Marilyn in response to Doof, but just that is not enough to make it not bad for us. We still lose 3 credits, and if we rest the Marilyn, then they can trash it. So would be kind of risky to keep this. So I'm gonna mulligan. But this hand is probably worse because we don't have anything to accelerate the game plan. I am liking the ice suite so far, not having envelopment and just having border control. It's kind of nice that you don't have to worry about boat as much. Okay, so we got border control. So we have a nice way to protect HQ. And I guess we protect HQ and also R&D, because after all, Sable does gain value from running centrals. So if we can stop that value, that's something. But in general, this is way too slow of a start for this deck to actually work. So this might be the worst opener today, and we may just lose. Yeah, the mark on R&D, sure gamble, Cat's Cradle. Ooh, GFI. Yeah, this is really bad, but we still have to draw, I think. Aziv. Yeah, this happens sometimes because you have the agendas that you can't use, and then you have some cards that you're trying to use for tagging, like Econ Warfare and Boom to punish tags. But if you draw them all at the same time, like none of them are really useful, unfortunately. So this is a big pickle. I could just install the Aziv and put the sandstone in front. But that is really quite bad. Yeah, discarding is also not nice here. So I think maybe just... Yeah, because installing this means I have to rest whatever is in front. Keeping the sandstone is nice. So I think a new remote, credit, we pitch the boom because we don't need it right now. But yeah, this is not good. Laundry archives. Okay, we got an excavator. And we can play a warfare. So I guess technically I can afford to draw one time. But I think, you know, I think it's probably good to have enough money to rest my stuff. So this excavator, click for credit. And then the excavator can trash the sandstone for money. Ooh, nice. Yeah. So this is also something I think this kind of play is because of inexperience with OB, because border control punish this kind of play really heavily. Not only do you not get to doof, but also they don't actually lose an ice. So I just pop this and Afshar on HQ. And the boomerang plus doof is expensive, of course. Yeah, you could trash the Afshar for a Maryland, but leaving HQ open is not really an option right now with 6 points in there. So let's trash the sandstone and get our draw. Oh, I gotta get some more water again. My throat is hoarse. But first, let's do the turn. Okay, so we can draw, maybe shuffle some agendas back. Because she can actually get through this Afshar. Yeah, so taking a credit here means we can pitch the GFIs. But maybe we pitch the Azif, because scoring a GFI is important after all. So I think, yeah, that probably makes sense. So credit, pitching Azif and GFI. And now water. Okay, class act for 4 cards. And we got the mandatory draw. We're still not, we can't trash anything. We need all of the cards on our board. But now we can install 2 launch campaigns and a Mausolus. And maybe try to score behind the Mausolus soon. Question is if maybe this Mausolus goes on HQ, because we are a bit weak to dupes right now. So I think, yes, let's commit some more ice to HQ. As we're doing well on the board now, since they don't really have the cash to go and trash everything. I guess now they do after the gamble. Miss Bones would still be bad. Okay, Pinhole. Yeah, that could trash the Spin Doctor, so I will pop it. To make sure we don't lose these agendas. And now this decision decides not to trash launch campaign. Oh, there's Tapworm. Yeah, we probably want to purge that. And there's no one home against HHN too, so we got to keep that in mind. So, yes, so launch campaigns. And if we get a Spin Doctor after trashing a launch campaign, then we will have to pitch a card. But that's probably fine. We might even draw into Econ HHN, and then we don't mind the Tapworm giving a credit. Oh, but there is no one home. So that sets the trace to 0. It's probably still fine for now. So get the Spin Doctor. Ooh, double. Yeah, actually now no one home is useless because we can. That is really lucky because we only had one Econ left in the deck, and we also drew the boom to punish, so we can Econ, HHN, and even if no one home is popped, it doesn't matter. We just have to pay like one extra tag, one extra credit. So this looks like it will lead to a kill. That was crazy. This is why sometimes people get frustrated with this kind of deck. But yeah, you have to stay at like a safe credit total. Okay, so there's Carpe Diem on archives. Yep, that's fine. And that's clickless, so she could clear 3 tags and survive. But again, yeah, this is sometimes happens that boom is not respected, but sometimes that is correct, not to respect the boom. I feel like here probably it's not correct, but I do have the boom, so that's another game. GG. So far, the deck is doing very well today. Let's do another one right after this commercial break. And we are back with some more OB. And yeah, I feel pretty happy with the changes that I made to the list to like adjust to the current format. Yeah, to Kagglescab, it is really, really true. Like a lot of the good runners tend to be runners that have an easy time like bursting to a high amount of credits to to stay out of HHN range. It's true. But you also got to keep in mind that the amount of money the corp has is also really important. So if you can deny their money, then that's a way to stop it as well. It's kind of possible against this deck if you trash the right cards. But yeah, other than that, you just try to, stay at a safe distance. If you are playing a poor runner, then you might need special tech like misdirection, networking. Anarch doesn't really have just like an anti-tag card. You can be tag me and play Obelisk, meaning you don't die to boom. And of course, also have just a lot of cash, which Anarchs are pretty good at, just getting up to a high amount of cash with liberated account, sure gambles, daily casts, all that good stuff. Oh, and Fermenter is a good money card. And no one wants to play with me. How do we do so far? We got 7 wins. Yeah, I scared people away. One hot take in a discussion I had with someone was that if misdirection is banned, which it probably never will be, then there we go. Then you would also have to ban. Oh, I should have been full screen this whole time. You guys need to tell me when I'm fucking up. No assets to accelerate, so mulligan this. But yeah, if misdirection was banned, then probably you would want to ban Econ Warfare as well. Not saying misdirection is considered for banning, it's just a card I dislike because I feel it can sort of blank decks like these that use tags. Okay, let's see. Spin Doctor, draw 2. Yeah, I think I have to do that. And then we can... Yeah, this is bad because I'm drawing into a lot of agendas. But we want to get the Rashida off, so install it and protect it. And also, yeah, Hoshiko can usually burst to a high credit total. Yeah, and can make plays like this with Dirty Laundry. But if they are not careful, if they don't get to a high enough credit count, then of course you risk Econ HHN plays. So you got to be a bit wary of that. The link helps as well. And the 2 credits from flipping. Oh, this was very aggressive. Yeah. I feel like people use Deuce's Wild to expose cards a bit too often. Okay, Pinhole to trash this Rashida. Okay. That's kind of nice. But yeah, exposing an ice instead of getting 2 cards seems like oftentimes it's not going to be worth it. But yeah, this is not going good though. It's not going well. We have too many agendas. The urban renewals are things we can rest, but it doesn't help us advance game plan right now. Like one thing I could do is just put the Asiv in the remote and put the urban renewals on the board. Maybe it's not terrible. I don't know. I'm gonna try that because I'm sort of desperate. I might even have to start clicking for credits. Another way you can go about it is just draw cards and hope you join to something better. Okay, so the Econ Warfare stays, of course. Urban Renewal. Again, yeah, a bit too aggressive. Like if you spend all your clicks running, then even if they didn't install something threatening, you lose a lot of time. Okay, so I'm gonna rest these. And I think draw, because my hand is exposed here. I have a lot of agendas. Yeah, the HQ is very weak. I can't play this risk-free though. So I gotta think here for a little bit. We want to get the Maryland rolling, but I can't really get enough money to use it right now. So I think I draw one more time. Maybe Econ Warfare. Or a credit. Because that allows credit Maryland next turn. I think that's fine. Liberated. Yeah, I guess Econ would have stopped Liberated from being played. So that's a decent reason to do that. But okay, we have the opportunity now for this. And probably trashing both of the urbans is correct because well, it depends. But if one of them pops, we do get an ID trigger from that. And then we can fetch an excavator or whatever. So that's really nice. Apart from just the meat damage. Running the other one. Just runs HQ to... Well, actually, I'm not sure why. Hoping to find agendas. Rest Maryland. Yeah. So, yeah, we can't make amazing plays this turn. We can play the Econ just to get the card out of hand. And I think it's time to protect HQ. And we can click for credit to make sure we can rest that ice. Okay, yeah, he's taking a turn to chill a little bit. Makes a lot of sense. So I could score the Asif and trash the Maryland and then get a launch campaign or something. Or actually a wall-to-wall is good. But then I can't rest the border control, which I don't like at all. Yeah, it's tricky. Maybe play it a bit cheeky and put this Asif on the board and just take money. I will try that. Because if we can keep this one on the board, that's nicer. And he doesn't really want to run right now. There's a bit of a threat of hard-hitting news. Oh, running R&D instead. Okay. That makes some sense too. Okay, so now there's this play. Trashing the Maryland. And we use OB. And we can get, well, we could get wall-to-wall. We do have a wall-to-wall in hand. I think I still want the wall-to-wall because he might trash it. We hit Stargate and Pinhole, kind of nice. And pass back to him. So, yeah, the game is not exactly going great, but not terrible yet. He does have a lot of cash, so it's quite hard to grind him down from here. I wonder what kind of Hashiko this is. It looks like it might just be an APOC list, because a liberated account usually signals this. Because in APOC decks, you just play like all the money cards. So now we want to pop the Spin Doctor so that wall-to-wall can get all of its triggers. So we pop this, get Econ Warfare back, because that's really nice. And guess Urban Renewals, because we want to draw into them assuming that it's an APOC deck, he wants to protect his assets. Okay, so drew the Sandstone. Yeah, again, not drawing a whole lot of assets. But I think we can put this down. Ice the remotes a little more. Do we advance the Asif though? Or just click for credit? I think just click for credit. We probably want to have the ability to rest both of those eyes. Now we have 2 booms in hand, kind of redundant. There's a way we can play this where we score 3 2-pointers, and then we try to get the last score with Audacity. So trashing the wall-to-wall, just taking money. Yeah, it seems like a very APOC style deck. So draw a card, get a credit, put advancement, just to pretend that this is Mausolus. Okay. Yeah, again, we just keep drawing the cards that we don't want to see at the moment. I think Sandstone on HQ is fine. Take a credit and advance this card? Or just take money? Still doesn't have breakers. I guess advancing is fine then, and we take a credit. Pitching a boom. Yeah, but this is a really bad situation because we didn't get our asset economy rolling at all. Oof. Losing an agenda off top is bad as well. Especially because we're already drawing so many of the agendas, we don't expect a lot of them to... there's not a lot of them left in R&D. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there were only 4 agendas in R&D. Yeah. So we don't expect to lose a lot of them to single access. Okay. Now he's pitching a lot of some breakers. So an orchestra, so he can get through. He can get through code gates, but not the other stuff. Yeah, I wish I had something so we can score this and trash the border control, but then we only get an Afshar. Which is something that we want to get with this border control, I think. Yeah, the order of drawing both the sandstones is sad. So I think just the launch campaign and taking money for now. If this is not trashed, which is kind of unlikely. Okay, we can rest sandstone now. If sandstone is rest, we could trash that when scoring the SEV, which is kind of nice. Does really look like an APOC build. Yeah, we rest the sandstone. And he's playing it well. Botulus on the sandstone. Okay, I guess it's fine to trash it at that point. And a sure gamble. Yep, yeah. So I am convinced that this is APOC. I guess, yeah, again, the sandstone is disposable now. So we can score this, trash the sandstone. We get a Marilyn. Oh, we could get drudge work too. Is that what we want? I guess Marilyn is probably... I'm not sure. So drudge work can shuffle back 2 agendas. It is kind of nice to be able to do that. Another thing is, like, if he doesn't have paperclip, a single advanced GFI can mean game. So shuffling it back isn't necessarily good. Yeah, I think we get a Marilyn. We get an Apocalypse and a Moshing. Yeah, so he can't APOC next turn because the board control can get an Afshar. And we can put a launch campaign here to try to get back up on money. Checking R&D, HQ. Yeah, breaking it, and I'm gonna pop. Yeah, so now we do risk APOC. Okay, so there's Pinhole potentially trashing this launch campaign. That's fine. But he's letting us have this money, I guess because he's gonna APOC us now. That seems very likely. does that mean that we don't install any of these? Just take money? So he does have one, yeah, just one orchestra. If that one is turned face down, and we shuffle back in F-sharp, that's a face check. Yeah, I guess we just take money now. It's hard to land the hard-hitting news right now. And if he's, yeah, if he, no, it doesn't look like standard Anarch at all. Like you would have a console, you would have probably some companions. Yeah, you probably don't play like 3 pinhole. This, yeah, we're unfortunate again. So he got an Azif off top. Okay, so he's choosing to do it this way, meaning that he has to pay real money to trash these. So it looks like he's not going for APOC right now. Which makes me wonder if he's able to, if he has APOC. And so one thing now is he doesn't have paperclip. So we could install advanced GFI to threaten an Audacity play. But then, of course, if he gets in, if he plays a paperclip and just runs, then we just lose. But maybe we need to be a bit desperate right now, because the position is really bad. Yeah, paperclip would be... I feel like there has to be a paperclip at this point, but at the same time, what are our outs otherwise? An out is just like installing this Atlas, scoring it, and then later scoring something else with Audacity, a 3-2. Or we can bank everything on this GFI play. Yeah, so it's risky, but probably loses the game. But I mean, he could also just check Atlas in the remote. So I guess let's go for that play. That probably loses if there's paperclip. Okay, running R&D. Also loses to APOC. Well, not immediately though, unless he hits the Atlas now. Okay. Doesn't access the Atlas. And he runs archives. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be APOC. And, okay, we need a way... So, yeah, I don't think we can bluff that the advanced card was not an agenda. So, like, we could econ an HHN to tag. Yeah, I guess he was waiting for an agenda install. But yeah, the reason I thought there was no APOC is that you would probably APOC the assets instead of paying cash to do it. Marilyn does not save us. Yeah, I could draw again to hope it's Spin Doctor. I don't know, maybe it's better to pretend it wasn't an agenda, but like what could it be except an agenda? Econ, HHN. Yeah, I would lose all my cash. Yeah, I don't... my only out, I think, is... Well, I could try to draw for Spin Doctor. But I feel like my only out is... is him just not going for this agenda. Interestingly, he isn't doing it so far. He might do it last click. Yeah, this Marilyn... I mean, he doesn't know that this is a Marilyn. He could think it's a Spin Doctor too. Okay. So we survived that. We have another chance to draw Spin Doctor. Yeah, the one of Clearinghouse. Nice. We draw, and then we install these two, pretending one is a Spin... pretending one is a Spin Doctor. This might be the Epoch play again, which means we lose because then he's hitting archives. Yep, he's running it. That was really well played. He kept playing around the threats. Yeah, very nice. So this is this matchup can be like, if you don't get your economy rolling, then it's hard to do anything as the op deck then. And then this matchup becomes really tricky. I would say in general it is pretty even, because like they always have to play around Econ Warfare, HHN, and if you get up to 5 points, they have no way to stop the Audacity score out. Yeah. Frustrating playing against a smart opponent. I mean, I love this game. I liked how he played it very carefully. And this showcases that, you know, it's not, you don't have to nosedive and just go tag me. So very well played. And yeah, it can be hard for this deck to play around APOC, but you have border control, you have the tag threat, and again, if you get to, you have the threat of getting to 5 points, and then they don't have clots in the APOC deck, so you can just score out from 5 points. So you can put pressure on them quite quickly, especially before they find their breakers. Yeah. So I think it's just an interesting matchup, and it can go either way. They sort of have to trash urban renewals, because either through apocalypse or just running it. Otherwise, they risk losing their apocalypses. So you have you have tools to like force them to run, and also sometimes the Asifs can snipe APOC, which is interesting too. But that's more of a little neat detail. But nice. Now we finally lost the game, just so the deck doesn't look invulnerable, because it really is not. Still a really fun list to play, in my opinion. So I had a lot of fun just jamming it again. I think it's an okay deck. Probably not the best deck around, but like it's fun to play. I think it's a pretty good build. But yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. that will actually be the last game for today. It's time for me to bail and eat some good food. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time. And if you have any thoughts or comments, leave that stuff in the comment section. Yeah, see you next time.